Was that too hard?
I'm gonna look it
That
up.
was way too hard.
That was not an icebreaker. That was
That
a,
wasn't an icebreaker. That was a thinker.
that was a heavy dose of ice.
We could do the one with Joe. If you were a wrestler, what would your wrestling name be?
Oh, we got this. Come on, Daniel, we got this.
Karen, you go first. You got the wrestling name.
Okay, so my wrestling name is Squirana. What? I can't say it. Squiranosaurus Rex, spelled
Ooh.
W-R-E-C-K-S.
That's funny.
Which is awesome. So I want to be on her team when we tag team wrestle. And I'm the Legionator.
Ooh.
Legionator. That's good.
I've actually been called Andrew the Giant before because I'm 6'4", so Andrew the Giant is my wrestling name.
Wait, we should be on his team.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I think you picked the wrong.
So are the participants in the waiting room right now? Sabra's asking.
We have attendees right now, 17 attendees that are listening and watching.
Woohoo!
Awesome.
The question is, do you, like Counselor Cassett Sanchez is there, do you want to make her a panelist? And is it, what's your party, not mine? Is there anybody you want to promote from attendee to panelist that's over in the attendee room?
I'm, with respect to everyone who's a panelist, with an attendee, I'm gonna keep it how it is. Just because the people who are on screen right now kind of know our agenda and what we're doing today. And I think we all kind of understand that this is a youth driven event, and we want to hear from youth
Sure.
today.
Perfect.
It's 4 o'clock. I don't know if we should wait for more attendees or we should just get it started.
Let's do it or they'll think something's wrong.
Okay, all right.
Okay, I'm gonna start. I'm gonna go live.
Perfect.
Let me. What's the name of this event?
Virtual Youth Town Hall.
Okay. Okay, 1 sec, please.
Just want to make
All right,
sure.
and you're live on Facebook. Go ahead.
All right. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Virtual Youth Town Hall meeting. I'm Sarah Gettler. I'm the Assistant Executive Director of the Boys and Girls Clubs. The Virtual Youth Town Hall meeting is an opportunity and attempt to engage youth to speak out about the concerns they have in their community. Recent events have highlighted the need for better communication between youth and adults. I want to let the youth know that they are participating today, that other entities across the community are working on how we can do better for you. Today, you are getting the chance to speak your voice and let the community listen to you. Each facilitator that is on screen is going to ask a question, and we would like your honest feedback. Adults who are on this forum, I would ask that you please respect the youth voice today and participate only by listening. Youth can type their replies on Zoom, on the Zoom chat, and maybe possibly on Facebook now through Boys and Girls Club Facebook. We also have resources available from Boys and Girls Club and other entities in the community, and we will put those in the chat box as well. If you would like to speak, you can raise your hand. The questions will first be said in English and then translated into Spanish right after. With that, I'm going to let the rest of the facilitators introduce themselves, and then we can start the questions. I'll let you start, Mayor.
Thank you, Sarah. I'm Alan Weber, and I am very proud and very honored to be the mayor of Santa Fe right now. I'm happy to be here with you.
I'll let you go next, Jamie.
Hello, I'm Jamie Holiday, and I am the principal at Capitol High School.
Adrian?
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Adrian Sotelo. I'm a site coordinator with communities and schools at Capitol High School.
All right, Daniel.
Hey, everybody, thanks so much for coming out. I'm Daniel Leachy, and I'm a environmental science teacher over at Capitol High School.
Karen.
My name is Karen Squires, and I'm a teacher at Capitol High School and one of the co-sponsors of our WAVE program, Wellness Ambassadors to Voice and Empower.
Chris.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Christopher Allers, and I am the WAVE Prevention Coordinator for Santa Fe Public Schools. So I oversee all of the different WAVE programs, including the one at Capitol.
Okay, we can start on our question. Mayor, you have the first question.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Let's dive right in. I'd like to ask the young people on the call a very basic question. Do you feel safe in Santa Fe and in your part of the community? If not, why not? And if so, what makes you feel safe?
Y ahora esta pregunta en español para los jóvenes. ¿Te sientes seguro o segura en tu comunidad aquí en Santa Fe?
I'm seeing a yes.
I see one answer in the chat. Did you want folks to raise their hands if they wanted to speak up, Sarah? How it's you're the Uber coordinator.
Yes, if they would like to speak up and talk, they will raise their hand and Joe will let them in to talk.
Great. Yeah, I'd love to hear some voices. There we go. Some hands are going up.
Kim, go ahead.
Hi, yes, I do feel safe in my community because I know there's people in my community, including Boys and Girls Club and my school, who will support me and help me out if there's anything that makes me uncomfortable. They'll do everything in their power that they can so they can know that I'm safe and I feel comfortable where I am.
Thank you, Kim. I know who you are. I recognize your voice.
Next, we have Matthew Conticelli. I hope I pronounced your last name correctly, Matthew. You're good to talk.
Hi, I do feel incredibly safe in Santa Fe due to the sources I have, as in Boys and Girls Club and other sources outside of the Boys and Girls Club. Not everybody is bad, and that speaks for itself.
Thank you, Matthew. Next, we have Jose Esquivel Mercado. Okay, we'll have to bring in Jose as a panelist because he is using another version of Zoom. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Go ahead, Jose. How you doing, Jose?
Good, how are you?
Good, brother.
Can everybody hear me? Just to make sure.
We can hear you.
Hear
Yeah.
you,
Oh,
hear you and see you both.
Okay. So first and foremost, I want to thank everybody for this awesome opportunity, the mayor, Mr. Granado especially. And in response to you guys' question, yes, I do feel safe in my city and my community due to the resources I have, like the Santa Fe Police Department. I have I just feel safe in general. I mean, what can I say? I do feel safe. I don't feel like there's a need to feel worried about like getting stabbed or shot. I don't. And yes, I do feel safe. And thank you once again for this opportunity.
Thanks for speaking up.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. Sarah, would you like me to check a question? Or if anybody else would like to speak?
We have some on the chat. saying
Okay.
that they feel safe, and the seems like the consensus is that we feel safe. Damian says, I feel very safe in my community of Santa Fe. I have many people that I know and trust around me.
Sarah, Candice Gonzalez wishes to speak.
All right, let her in.
Go ahead, Candice. I think, Candice, we just need you to unmute. Candice, are you there? Sarah, may I just maybe promote her to panelist and see if that works? Okay,
Yes, that's fine.
okay. We'll bring in Candice.
Also, if things need to be translated, please put it in the chat box and we will make sure to do that.
Okay, Candice should be rejoining us here in a moment.
Sarah, we got a couple more chat responses if you want to take a look.
Yes, Leila Peters saying, having BGC as a safe and positive place for teens and little kids made me feel safe and welcome. Thank you, Leila. Samantha says, I do feel safe in my community. I just wish there were more places available for teens my age. Thank you, Samantha.
Okay, Candice, I think is still, we tried promoting and unmuting, so I think it might be something maybe she might want to log back in and then we can go from there.
Okay, we have another one from Vicente. Yes, I feel safe because it's a small city. I feel that your Boys and Girls Club is a place where nothing bad happens. Thank you, Vicente.
And it does look like Candice will be coming back in, or we're just waiting for her.
Okay. We also have another one that says, I also feel safe in my community. I feel that many of the resources available to teens, such as public libraries and public transportation, being free, oh, I lost it, being free aid in that. My school and community at the south side of town also add to this. Thank you, Mr. G, for also saying that you appreciate the BGC.
Sarah, do you want to move on to the next question, do you think?
Yeah, I think maybe, hopefully Candice we can catch her later. Go ahead, Daniel.
Hey guys, what do you want to see changed in your community?
Y ahora para los jóvenes, ¿qué cambios te gustaría ver en tu comunidad?
We have Kim. Let's go ahead and bring in Kim.
Um,
Go ahead, Kim.
Hi, I would like to see more places where teens can go. Like I want something like Boys and Girls Club, or mostly for teens, where we can learn more about how we as a community, as teens, we can support each other in school, outside of school, and like recommend areas and sports for each other and help each other out when we need it the most.
Okay, thanks, Kim. Next, we have Matthew again, wishes to speak. Go ahead, Matthew.
Yes. Hi. I would like to see more outlets for teens, and outlets, I mean, not just like as in schoolwork or academic wise, but also just a place to hang out, play basketball or do sports, just a safe place for them where they could have fun.
Excellent. Next is Nive Ditha, and you're unmuted.
Thank you. Like others have kind of said, I would definitely like to see more places for teens to just hang out, like safe places. And maybe also I would like to see places like public libraries and public transportation and other resources being publicized more, because many teens might not be aware that those things are available to them.
Okay, great.
I think Jose was asking to speak also. Jose, did you have something?
Yes. First and foremost, I would love to see more resources for us teens. More places we can go to. More resources in general. That's what I can say. Please. And less gun violence, first and foremost. It's something that I would really like to see less in my community.
Okay.
Some of the chat is saying the way we treat others, even people we don't know. Vicente and Adrian say we would like to see some lights at the Boys and Girls Club, so when some of us stay after dark, we can see. Noted, boys. What I would like to see changed in this community is more acceptance, and like Matthew said, more outlets. Layla Peters says, I would like more teen activities. Damian says, I think it would be beneficial to have more places for teenagers and younger kids to have places in which to play and spend time in. Anyone else waiting to speak, Joe?
Let me see here. I do not see anybody else.
Okay.
No, ma'am.
We can move on to Karen.
Hi, everyone. So the third question for tonight is, what existing supports have helped you or your friends?
Y ahora en español, ¿qué tipo de apoyo o recursos te han ayudado a ti y a tus amigos?
Okay.
So I see it says the Teen Center has helped me out a lot.
You also have Matthew wants to speak again.
Good.
Go ahead, Matthew. You're unmuted.
Definitely the Boys and Girls Club. The Boys and Girls Club have helped me, but it also helped the other kids that go there as well, as in homework wise, academic wise, and also just to be a safe place from, because this could be a safe place from home where they feel comfortable, or they could just have someone to talk to, or anything in that category. So the Boys and Girls Club is definitely a really helpful and safe place, I think.
That's great. Thank you. Someone asked to repeat the question, so I'll say it again. What existing supports have helped you or your friends?
My school teachers and my school administrators have helped me out a lot.
That's
And
good.
yeah, basically my teachers, my school administrators, my principal, Mr. Morano, Mr. Granado, they've helped me out a lot.
That's good. That's good to hear. There's another comment that says, my teachers have definitely been a great help for me and my friends. Not only are they our instructors, but also huge mentors for us.
I believe school teachers because even though I haven't met my school teachers this year in person, they have supported us in many ways. They have asked us multiple times if we need anything so they can alert our principal. They asked us what kind of thing, what can work for us if we don't have the time during their class. They'll email us even if we don't arrive to class on Google Meet. They'll email us saying, hey, this is your classwork. I just want to remind you, if you need anything, just let me know. I can help you. Boys and Girls Club have been a huge support with me too, because I've been there for more than 5 years, I believe. And Crystal, Sarah, and many others has been a huge support in my life. They helped me went through school. They supported me with their homework classes. They just been a huge part of me, and I can't thank them a lot.
That's good, Kim. It sounds like you've got good support. There are some other resources out there in the community, and I would just like to draw attention that the Boys and Girls Club, when you're on their website, let's see if I can find it, there's a place for family resources. So if you go to the Boys and Girls Club website under Our Approach and Family Resources, there's a long list of different places that can help with various needs. Some are for financial or housing assistance, food assistance and mobile food pantries, emotional health assistance, and healthcare assistance.
And we could put those links in the chat box as well for resources. And community partners, if you want to look at that page also, and if I somehow have missed you, please let me know as well.
Adrian, will you please translate for us that last section just so even our Spanish-speaking participants know of the resources that are on the site?
Yeah, sure. So estábamos hablando sobre, ahí en la página de internet del Boys and Girls Club, hay una página de recursos que te dice cuáles son los servicios que hay en Santa Fe. Hay servicios para la vivienda, para comida, para necesidades básicas, también para si necesitas ayuda para ir a ver un doctor, también puedes encontrarlo ahí. Y dijo la directora del Boys and Girls Club que vamos a poner los enlaces adentro de la caja de comentarios para que puedan accederlos. Y también nosotros como parejas de comunidad vamos a ponerlos en nuestros enlaces, en nuestras páginas de internet para que la comunidad los pueda ver.
Thank you.
Matthew, did you want to speak again?
No, sorry, I don't know why I must have pressed that. My mistake.
No problem. No problem, brother.
Okay, Karen, you feel good?
I feel good. If they feel good, I feel good. This is for them.
Yeah. Okay, Adrian, you're up then.
Okay, next question is, oops, wrong page. What can the community do to improve the supports and the connections and the opportunities to continue succeeding? ¿Qué puede hacer la comunidad para aumentar el apoyo, las conexiones y las oportunidades para salir adelante?
Okay. Go ahead, Matthew.
I definitely think that the community can be more interactive with our teens, possibly, if that makes sense, and maybe, yeah, just definitely just interact with them. You know, be there for them, if just as a great person, you know.
I think someone needs the question repeated. The question is, what actions can the community take to increase support, connections, and opportunities for success? In Spanish again. En español, ¿qué puede hacer la comunidad para aumentar el apoyo, las conexiones y las oportunidades para salir adelante?
I think maybe some programs where citizens FA like that, or teens and can bond with each other and get to know each other more, because there's very few programs that actually get teens to be open with the community. And then I heard seen people saying, I wish I can communicate with my adults more and get to know them more because I trust them as a support. And then I think maybe programs that can help that can actually bring community out more as a community and as friends and family to each other.
Thank you, Kim.
Some actions that the community can take is interacting with us youth more, communicating more with us.
Sarah, we have a response on chat too. I mean, question.
Okay. Says, I believe that the community events and engagement can bring Santa Fe closer together. Even at the school level, organizing class or school events can allow the community to feel closer together, and community efforts to make in Santa Fe a better place can also contribute to this.
I don't see any more hands raised. I think Matthew has his hand up just by mistake, I believe. Right, Matthew?
Yeah, I don't know why it keeps doing that.
It's all right, brother. No problem. No problem.
No worries. Okay, we'll move on to Jamie.
Wait, can I ask a question real quick?
Yes.
You know, I want to be with you all and communicating and like bonding with you, and I'm just wondering, what type of events do you envision that would be? Or if you need time to think about it, it's okay.
Karen, I also have a follow-up question to throw out for our participants to consider. Mariah suggested that we publicize more resources and programs, especially through school. And so I would like to hear from our youth what means is the best for publicizing information. Is it Twitter? Is it Facebook? What is their preferred way of getting information?
Great question, Jamie.
For social media, for us, we use Facebook and Instagram a lot. Twitter has a huge impact for us because most of us don't find Twitter as a best way to contact each other. We're mostly into Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, that because we can actually share stuff with each other when Twitter is just a little bit confusing for us.
Thank you, Kim.
Samantha and Layla have both said sports events, which I understand now during COVID is not as easy for us to figure out. To your question, Jamie, it looks like Facebook and Instagram and Snapchat is what I'm seeing the most. What about?
This is good to know because we need to increase our Instagram activity as a school.
What about TikTok? Do you want your teachers on TikTok? Just kidding. Nivedithya, I haven't said your name because I'm worried I'm butchering it, but she said events such as community cleanup events or other events could also help, though obviously during this pandemic it's more difficult to do this. I know some people have held mask drives as well, and remote community and opportunities can help also, which is great because I feel like what you're saying for teen events is community service and civic duty. So Niveditha, Did I do it? I'm sorry.
You got a big yes.
Jose, you said food drives also. So during this COVID time, is it fair to say that community service would be, you'd be interested in doing that? Is that what I'm getting as far as coordinating teen events for all of the panelists here?
Maybe when the pandemic ends, we can have like more sports events. But for now, since it's coronavirus, we can have more like food drives. Well, community service.
For the events, I normally think like I've been doing a lot of STEM lately because they have been offering programs where you can join a Google Meet or a Zoom meeting, and you can do what you like. Like there's lots of things who are into computer technology, arts and crafts, and I feel like this is like the hardest moment to be in groups. But what STEM has done is they have a grab and go where you go collect supplies that they offer, and then you join their meetings, and then you do things in the meeting, and then you get to see what each other has created. So I think that's a good idea for hobbies and activities we can be doing online without causing more coronavirus and all this pandemic getting worse.
Layla says we can help the Food Depot with their mobile food pantries. Awesome. Matthew says Instagram and TikTok, millions of teens are on these social media ads for hours a day. That is possible for you guys to learn more and interact with these apps. I believe you would have a major impact on getting news and information out. Thank you. Jamie, did you want to move on to your question?
I'm ready. If the group is ready, absolutely. So my question is, what support can adults provide to teens to help prevent future incidents of violence? And I'll repeat that because it's a lot. So what supports can adults provide to teens to help prevent future incidents of violence?
Muy bien, y ahora en español, ¿cómo te pueden apoyar los adultos en tu comunidad para evitar futuros accidentes de violencia? De nuevo, ¿cómo te pueden apoyar los adultos en tu comunidad para evitar futuros accidentes de violencia?
Okay, I believe Candace has her hands up. Go ahead, Candace, you can speak.
Hi, sorry for the technical difficulties on my first question, but to answer this one, I think especially from you guys being the leaders of the adults of our community, I think something that would be really reassuring to youth who are going through this traumatic experience of maybe losing a friend, losing a classmate, losing a teammate. I think it's really important that we understand and are reassured of what actions are being taken as preventative measures. Because I know for me personally and some kids that I've talked to, we're a little bit in the dark. I mean, we might not be going through each minutes of city council and reading on what's happening, but we'd like to be reassured on what's going on.
I'm shocked to learn you're not going through every minute of city council meetings. That is unacceptable. It's completely understandable. There are a lot of good, do you mind, Sarah, if I jump in?
Please do.
Okay, and also I want to recognize that Kira Ochoa is in the attendees room, who is our Community Services Director, as is City Council member Jamie Cassett Sanchez. I don't know who else. I didn't keep track of everybody, but I wanted to give them and George obviously is there as well. So there are a lot of resources in the attendee room who probably have a lot of information that the young people on the call would benefit from learning about. Kira and others. Kira is in charge of, among other things, libraries and teen programs and lots of important parts of city government. But to speak very specifically to the issue of gun violence. Just last night, we had a District 3 community virtual meeting like this one with Councilor Abeyta and Councilor Rivera and me and Santa Fe Police Department and the Santa Fe County Sheriff's Office. And I can tell you, I'm going to try to keep this brief because I know there are a lot of young voices that we want to hear from, but there is a very, I think, thoughtful approach that the police department is taking toward gun violence in our community, starting with identifying people who are self-identifying on social media as members of groups that participate in gang-like activities. And thanks to social media, they put their pictures up and show their guns on pages and flash rolls of money. And the police department monitors that and is now with a group of detectives sitting down with each of the individuals. There are about 3 dozen, and telling them that they have a life choice to make. The choice is, if you continue with gang-related activity, you risk your life, you risk potential jail time, you risk serious consequences. On the other hand, if you're interested as an individual and with your family members to change your path, the city is working with a group of nonprofits, with the school district, with the county, to offer support and help for anyone who wants to change their direction and take a different path in life. And already a couple of young people have stepped up and spoken with the police detectives who are now working to find ways for the ones who don't want to be participating in the gang style life to get the mentoring and the social support, maybe even a therapy session or sessions to talk about what has gone on in their life. So there is I think, a very thoughtful approach. It's not just arrest people, it's help people, offer a different set of choices with resources, but remind them that behavior has consequences. And if they choose to continue with gang-like activities, with firing weapons, with drug-related activities, the police know who these folks are, and they will end up under arrest. Our police department has already coordinated with the district attorney's office and juvenile justice participants in the system, and alerted them that we are going to be giving folks a choice. Really, stop doing what you're doing, and get help, or face the consequences of continuing to do it, and perhaps end up in very, very life situations that alter your life in a very bad way. So I think there is a plan, and it is not a short-term plan. It's an ongoing plan that will continue to roll out in the months ahead. And if anybody has more questions about that, I'm happy to answer them on email at mayor@santafenm.gov, mayor@santafenm.gov. We can describe it in more detail. Thank you. Sarah.
Sarah, we have Avi Pope wishes to speak.
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and promote Avi to panelist because of the version they're using.
Okay.
Okay.
Hi, I would like to say what I'm saying is like mostly I'm assuming empirical, and I don't have any statistics, but I think we should focus on looking at how these gang problems, let's say, arise and how we can stop them before it happens, right? Of course, rather than taking initiative to stop them as they're happening is important, but I think what's more important is seeing what we can do so that kids, because of course things are happening in mostly lower income households, right? Lower income, let's just say working class, and these things are happening for a reason. What I mean by that is, of course, it occurs more often to certain people for different socioeconomic reasons. And what have we done to ensure that everyone is I'm not sure the terminology, but what have we done to ensure that these problems do not continue? And why do we think these problems still continue? And what are we going to do to make sure that children, I don't know how to say this, but just at a young age, are reaffirmed that they won't experience these problems and that they possibly won't join anything like this.
Thank you, Avi. I appreciate your focus on preventing young people from getting involved in gangs and other unhealthy activities that may lead to an increased likelihood of violence. Other suggestions or ideas from our young people on supports that the adults around you, and by adults, it could be school, it could be the mayor, but it could be your mom, it could be your neighbor. What supports do you need from the adults to help prevent students from going down a dangerous path? And I see that Matthew mentioned, a safe place to hang out. And when he's speaking of sports, it's not only the traditional basketball, baseball, but it's looking at maybe a larger view of athletics and those sorts of activities. Any other ideas or suggestions?
While folks think about that, let me just offer a piece of information because there have been a number of comments about a place. And the good news is that there is a place that is in the works. Last year, we got funding for a teen center right adjacent to the Boys and Girls Club, right across from the library. And we are now having gotten the funding together, some of it from the state, some of it from city sources. The teen center, we've asked, and this is Kira Choa's work, and as well as our public works team, integrating, asking advice from young people about what they wanted to see in that kind of a building. The work now is being done to design it and engineer it, and we're hoping construction will start in 2021. So the talk about and the desire to have a place to hang out, make friends, have computer resources, have sporting opportunities, but also to socialize and feel safe and make new contacts. That's exactly what the Teen Center is designed to be. And by having it adjacent to the Boys and Girls Club and across from the public library, it really becomes a hub for a lot of different kinds of activities for young people to participate in. So I'm glad that that's a high priority for you all, because it's been a high priority for us as well. And now I think we're in a position to take the money that we've put together and actually move to construction. So hopefully I gave you some time to think of the answer of the actual question that was asked, but I wanted you to know that building is on its way.
Okay, Jamie, you okay? All right, Christopher?
All right. So the final question of the afternoon, unless there are more follow-up questions.
There's one more after this.
Oh, okay. One more. But the question I have is, what are some of the things that you all as young people are able to do to create change. So the question prior to this was, what can we as adults take on? And I'm curious as to what you all think you have the capability to do to create change in your community.
What I think is that since we as teens trust each other, because we might go through a similar situation, I think if we are going through something and like someone like one of us had the help, we can help each other get the support and the help we need, because some teens don't trust adults because they're like, they say, oh, I don't know what they'll do, they might send me there. Trust, and we believe in each other that we can help each other. If one teen, like a group of teens have the
And Kimberly, you cut out.
the resources and
Kim, I'm going to try and summarize what you said because I was having a hard time with your sound was cutting out for some reason. So what I got from you is that, you know, as a young person, sometimes it's easier to go to one of your peers for support. And so if you as a young person have access to the different resources in the community, you can connect your friends that need help to those resources, because sometimes it's a lot more likely that your friends will go to you before they'll go to an adult. Is that kind of a good summary of what you were trying to say?
sorry about that. Yeah, that's correct.
Cool. Thank you, Kim. Yeah, Matthew, I see your hand up.
Yes, peer pressure. Peer pressure on our part is a huge factor. It is very controlling and very difficult to say no to some things when you and your friends are doing something and your friend says, "Hey, let's go do this," or "Let's go do that," and you know it's wrong, but you're their best friends, and you want to make sure that you have your best friend. You don't want to be alone, because being alone isn't fun and isn't something to be awesome about. So I believe peer pressure on our part could be a huge factor on how we could change.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that peer pressure and social pressure has great potential for negative and positive impacts for people of any age, right? Everybody just wants to fit in. So yeah, thank you for that, Matthew. Really good insight. Any other thoughts from the young folks on the call about how you can positively impact those around you?
Just check in with them and make sure they're okay. Contact them by email, message. Hey, for example, hey Joe, are you doing fine? Hey Maria, are you doing okay? Do you need any help with anything? To check in with them.
Yeah, definitely. It's sometimes hard to be the person to break the ice, but if you know that your friend is having a hard time mentally, emotionally, or even if you know that they're kind of steering towards something you might consider to be dangerous in terms of drug use or violence, yeah, you can definitely be the one that's going to be brave and break the ice in that situation. And it's really important just to say that if you know that somebody is thinking about hurting themselves or somebody else, it's absolutely the most important thing you can do to tell an adult in that situation, right? It's important to know that you have the responsibility to make sure that your friends are safe. And Layla, thank you for sharing, spreading kindness and stopping cyberbullying. Definitely. I would imagine that there's been an incredible spike in cyberbullying while everything has been fully online right now.
Okay. The last question is kind of to follow up on what Christopher was saying of what action are you going to take after our discussion today? Right now you're taking action because you're participating in our discussion right now, but what other action can you take now? And the people on this panel would like to hear it because we'd like to help you and see what we can do to start taking more action in our community. But we want it to be led by you, the youth. So what can we all start doing together? Do we do more things like this? Is this helpful to you guys? We can always do, we don't want to stop here. We want to continue this, you know, monthly if we need to keep this checking in and letting you guys know we care. But I'd love to hear if you guys have any more community service ideas or action items.
Matthew, did you want to speak?
Yeah. Anything that could make this teen center possible. This teen center is going to be a huge impact on us as teens. It's going to be very helpful. So if that means community service wise or just going out and helping or planning or anything like that, I'm in.
Great.
100%.
It's going to happen.
I would really love it if you guys would continue these town halls. I think that they would be really helpful. I mean, me myself, how do I say it? It just makes me feel more like me right now. I already trust you guys. I already feel safe telling you guys, hey, like I feel this. Hey, I have this problem. Hey, I need help with this. I would really love it if you, Mr. Mayor, or the whole community would continue these town halls. I would love it if you guys would continue these. It doesn't matter if it's weekly. It doesn't matter if it's monthly. It doesn't matter if it's yearly. I mean, it doesn't really matter. Just make sure to continue these, please.
Great.
Please.
Thank you.
I actually love these town halls because it's a way for teens who are scared to share their voices without being in person, because us as teens get very nervous to be in person and say, hey, we think we should be kind and step up and help our community. But with these town halls, I think it's really amazing. And I think we can, if we know more resources that can affect us, they can actually help other teens like ourselves be more comfortable being where we are and more trustworthy with adults. For these town halls are amazing. I think the teen center will be good too. And I know there's a couple teens who like to help our community by doing like community services. And I think anything will really be beneficial for our city at the moment.
I agree.
I would also like to add something, if I may, if we have time.
Go ahead, Jose. We have time.
Okay, so I am a rising senior at Santa Fe High, and we have this group that's called the Senior Mentor Group. What we basically do is that we mentor the incoming freshmen. Well, not only the incoming freshmen, but we also try to help out the sophomores. Me, myself, and my fellow classmates and my fellow administrators, we're already starting to help out the younger people by welcoming them into our group. Hey, do you need this help? Hey, what's your problem? Hey, do you need stuff with this? Hey, do you have an addiction we can help you out with? I just basically wanted to add it that we ourselves at our school, we're already helping our youth, our fellow younger people, freshmen, sophomores. And I just want to say this. If you guys want to join their group, join it. I mean, we help out kids of all age. I mean, me and myself, I say we help out freshmen, we help out sophomores. No, we can help out juniors and seniors. If you need help, come to us. We can help you guys. We are here, guys, to help. We're already, I mean, we basically already help out our younger youth, sort of. I mean, yeah. I mean, I think you understand me where I'm coming from.
Sure.
I do, Jose, and thank you. And what I took out of that in listening to you is maybe as a community, we need to do a little better job recognizing the work that you're doing and the things that our young people are doing.
And I just want to say this: if any of my classmates are watching this or wherever it's up, I mean, I basically don't know yet, but wherever it's up, if you guys need help, reach to us. We seniors, we can help you guys. Not only do we help with the freshmen, like I said, we can help with any kids of age. Ourselves, the senior mentor group at our school, Santa Fe High School, we focus on the community, helping them out. Issues, problems, addictions, stuff like that. And I just want to say to my fellow peers, to my fellow people of my age, if you guys need help, speak out. It's never too late to get help. If you guys are battling addiction, you guys are addicted to this drug or something, get your help. We're here for you. I'm here for you. If you need me, reach out, please.
Thank you, Jose.
Great.
Sarah, I believe Candace wants to speak.
Okay, Candace?
Hi. So on the matter of taking action, I think the fact of the matter is not all of the students of SFPS public schools are here tonight or this evening. They're not here. And I think to address what one of my classmates said in the chat about making this more advertised to everyone else, making this more public, that's something that needs to happen if we're going to continue these. But also, I think something that needs to happen, and I'm speaking to my fellow classmates who are on here, we need to be advocates of action. I think what's going on right now between youth violence that's happening, I mean, when you go into school, it's kind of a taboo to talk about it, and it needs to be talked about. We need to take the initiative to have these hard conversations in our school setting, because that's where everyone is. Not everyone's going to come to these meetings, but they have to be at school. And these are conversations that we need to get everyone on board about. We have to get everyone's opinion. So my fellow classmates, take initiative to bring these issues up. We need to protect our community and protect ourselves and just really end youth violence.
Thank you, Candace.
Also, real tidbit, I'm sorry, I forgot, but I think it would be awesome if we made counselors in our schools more accessible. My school only has 2 for about like 300 kids. I know 2 is a lot in that sense, but I think as much as your friends are someone you could talk to, counselors are someone who you can really talk to and get something done with.
Thank you, Candace.
May I add something quickly?
Yes, Kim.
I've been at El Camino Real for the last 2 years, and my counselor, Mr. Romero, is part of a group called Natural Helpers. And the Sky Center was a huge source to us because we go to retreats, and they teach us a bunch about how we can help ourselves as teens, how we can be mentally stable to help others. And I think if we have more accessibility or more access to the Sky Center and how they can help us, like create groups and they can help us, it'll be very beneficial for us teens, because me going to the 4 retreats I've been to, they have helped like 25 of
Kim, I don't know if you could hear me, but we lost you again.
us students and like very helpful with our team. So I think this can you hear me?
Yes, now we can.
Okay, like I said, I think the Sky Center should be a very huge source to us. Not a lot of teens know that there's such thing as a Sky Center, or they offer groups and things to help us out. So I think if we might learn more of the Sky Center, and the Sky Center has more recognition, it can help us a lot, help each other.
Thank you, Kim. Avi, you had said in the chat box of how we publicize this. The schools publicized it. Capitol High sent emails to their students. It was on the Boys and Girls Club's webpage and social media pages as well. We can do better. We can advertise this better. Hopefully more entities will help us promote it better if we do this again, when we do this again. With that, I just kind of like follow up with, if you go to our website, bgcsantafe.org, there is a sign up sheet where you can put in your information if you want to sign up to continue having these discussions, maybe plan more action items and community service with the club. Any other community entities that want to jump on this also and help out, I love to partner up. So that's there also. I also had mentioned that I would give away some gift cards for participation. So that is where I'm going to get your information from if you guys sign up.
Sarah, can I jump in with just a couple more thoughts? Because there was a question in the chat box about Wi-Fi and
Yes.
whether the city had any plans to extend Wi-Fi into areas that are currently not reached, lower income areas, areas where families may not have their own connection. And the short answer is yes. Our last effort was to make Wi-Fi available through libraries and schools. Now we have a new plan to extend Wi-Fi through parts of the south side that are currently not reached, using an antenna that is available for us to boost the signal. So that's, we know it's important. We know with school being virtual for a while and people looking for jobs or information or wanting to tap into resources, you have to be able to get online. And it's something our economic development department, a fellow named Rich Brown, is championing and taking forward. It's going to happen as well. I also wanted to comment briefly on what Avi said about getting ahead of the problem. And I think that hits the nail right on the head. I think that's something that Councilor Cassett-Sanchez has been saying as a new member of the city council. Her background is public health and public health policy. And she sees through that lens how much of what we deal with in our community is related to public health, whether it's an adverse childhood experience that then leads to bad decisions down the road. We really do need to think very completely and intentionally about strategies, plans, and programs that first prevent bad decisions, second, intercept them and intervene before something really goes haywire. Our last choice is to try to, offer remediation, offer a fix to the problem, but we'd rather, as a community, stop the problems from happening or call them early. And so one of the things you all said very consistently was, as young people in our community with your own networks, you can see into the lives of your friends and the people who you go to school with and the people you hang out with. You are the early warning system for somebody who might be sending signals out that something's not right at home or something is not right in their own feelings, their own personal emotions. And so we end up treating the problem after it happens rather than recognizing it and preventing it. And I think the young people on this call and those who will be in the future on town halls like this, you really are the leaders and the early warning system, the radar screen that picks up young people who are at risk of doing something to harm themselves or others. And often all they're asking for is some help and they don't know how to ask for it. We have to do a better job on our side of identifying the kinds of help that really are available. And there's a lot of stuff available. Sky Center is one thing, but Boys and Girls Club and other programs that are in the community, some through the county, some through the city, some through programs on the south side. They are there. We just need to tell you more about them and how to get access to them. So that's one of my takeaways is we just have to do a much better job of letting you know how you can get help for yourself and your friends when you see something that really needs to be addressed or something done affirmatively that will make life better. Avi is saying in the chat box his technological hand is not working, but he's using that as a way to raise his hand. So if you can unmute him so he can speak, that'd be great.
Hi. So I think that a large of what you're talking about, a huge way to, I think, just improve that, like the thing we're talking about, and simply participation in the youth town halls is education, right? We all know New Mexico is not the best in education. I'm not sure how Santa Fe is, but I can assume. But either way, we need to make sure, or I guess it's your job to make sure, that all kids know that this is happening. All kids, even something like an email isn't enough, in my opinion, because, you send an email to some unmotivated high schoolers. They might not even open it, right? And so while you did send that to them and they did receive it, they are not engaged in any way. And this might be from the fault of them never being truly engaged. And so if there's a way, of course we have many things like the Boys and Girls Club, etc., that are there for young children. I think, I'm not sure of the possibility of this, but something like a statewide, or at least citywide, something like a pre-K, right? A kindergarten or preschool that has education. It has something like education so that we stop problems before they arise, and that kids know what they can do and how they can influence change Santa Fe.
Thank you, Avi.
Avi, I don't know if you want a response, but I think I'll give you one anyway. You're absolutely right. One of the biggest ways to help people have a successful life is to start between ages 0 and 3. So much development happens in those 3 years, 36 months. And Santa Fe and the state are trying, this governor is trying hard to invest more in early childhood education and in giving young people from all parts of our community fast start help with language, with socialization, with sense of confidence that they can succeed in life. And 0 to 3 is where so much of that happens, particularly in a state like New Mexico, where a lot of folks are dealing with poverty and with a situation where they don't have a traditional household. They come to school on their first day and they may already be behind. And so it's our job as the community's elders to do everything we can to give every young person in our city and state that early, fast start with language skills, with support, with social safety and security, health, basic nutrition. I mean, these are the fundamentals of what's called the social determinants of health. Food, shelter, clothing, security, love. I mean, so much of it just boils down to what somebody put in the chat box about emotional compassion and empathy. And the more we practice that, the more young people in our community will have a good start in life, and we will, as you said, will prevent the problems later in life. So I think you're on target again, and it's our job to deliver.
Thank you. Any more comments from our youth?
I just want to thank you guys for giving us this opportunity. And again, take my recommendation, keep these town halls going. It could really help us. It could really make us open our minds to you guys. I mean, yeah, just feel more trust. I mean, I feel that trust with you guys right now by speaking. So, and thank you guys once again.
Thank you.
Yeah, I also want to say thank you. You guys are doing your hardest to make an impact on our community, and that means a lot by itself.
Thanks, Matthew. Anyone else? Jamie, I think you have some closing remarks.
Yes, thank you, Sarah. So we want to really emphasize that this is just the beginning. And Adrian, I will pause so that you can translate as we go. This town hall is not just a one-time event. This is a way for us to elicit your input so that we can all move forward. And I'll pause real quick for translation.
Esta junta de Town Hall no es una cosa que va a pasar nada más una vez, y queremos volverlo a hacerlo para que tengan la oportunidad de decirnos cómo se sienten.
I feel confident that as a community, we can do better and we must do better. And it isn't a matter of placing blame on why we are where we are right now. It's a matter of coming together and doing better for our youth, for ourselves, for our families.
Y tengo mucha confianza que vamos a hacer mejor y vamos a continuar a hacer mejor a nuestra comunidad, y hacernos más cercanos para nosotros mismos, para los jóvenes de la comunidad y para nuestras familias también.
And so I also want to make sure that I thank all of the facilitators, but more importantly, all of the youth who are joining us. And so as we move forward, we will continue to collaborate and work with other community partners so that the positive effects of this group will be felt not only to those of us who are present right now, but to all of the students that are in our schools, to all of the children that are in our communities, and to the families across our city.
Le quiero dar muchas gracias a los facilitadores de esta junta, pero unas gracias más grandes a los jóvenes que vinieron. Y quiero decirles que vamos a continuar a trabajar con las organizaciones de aquí de Santa Fe para poder seguir viendo los efectos positivos que hemos sentido nosotros hoy ahora, pero también para todas las familias y los estudiantes de la ciudad.
So thank you all. We will do better communicating future events. And so we do hope to have increased participation, but know that your participation is very valuable and you can be the change that we need in our community. And you're not in it alone, but you have the power to make tremendous gains.
Y nosotros vamos a hacer un mejor trabajo de comunicarnos sobre estas juntas, pero necesitamos que ustedes también sepan que ustedes son los que tienen el poder para que más de sus compañeros vengan a estas juntas y que puedan decirnos cómo se sienten. Ustedes no están solos, pero necesitamos su poder como jóvenes.
Thank you all. Have a wonderful evening and a hopefully relaxing weekend.
Muchas gracias a todos y que tengan muy buenas noches y un buen fin de semana.
Okay, I think that wraps up the first one. We'll do this again soon. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, facilitators, for taking this time.